opened my Twitter and I saw people sharing videos of Israel victims being burned alive in the car, and the video was showing their black color charred body. It was really horrible.
Now continue.
It was a very horrible sight, and there's no human being in this world that should go through this kind of suffering. Being burned alive is just cannot imagine. It's horrible, just horrible.
This is what happens when we live in ignorance. Yesterday, you had so much of resistance because you were brainwashed by your friend, and you were not even honest enough to say why you are polluted. When I asked you again and again, then you started saying what she has said. Now be honest and tell how much you were influenced by her. Don't speak too much.
How much I'm impressed by her, Swami.
How much you were influenced by her, whatever she said. Just be honest.
Not anymore, Swami. Not anymore.
First listen to what I am asking. I said when she said it, not now. Now whatever your state is, now you are influenced by me. But what was yours? When she said, what happened inside? Say quickly because I have to speak much and I don't have much energy today.
I believe what she's. Not to say fully believe, but I quite believe what she said. And I was in confusion actually. Yesterday I was confused.
But why you believed? Speak less, in less word. Be more precise.
I don't know why I believe, but I just believe. I don't know why I believe.
Okay, understood. When you come to a doctor, you have to speak less. You have to just tell your sickness, your disease, what you are suffering from, and then leave it to doctor. So you believed because your consciousness is also in a sleepy state. The mirror of your consciousness is not clean, so it is not reflecting what is. It is not reflecting things as it is. So don't blame anyone else for this. Now you will have to work hard, and working hard doesn't mean that if you become a laborer, you become a coolie, then you will be transformed. It is a different game altogether. That's why you need guidance. But we go on doing our own things because ego is at the very center of our life. And whatever ego does only destroys us. It cannot be in any way helpful or auspicious. So all the time you are influenced by other people. And then I have to waste so much of my energy to bring you back in a state where your slate is clean, and then you can listen. So now first you again repeat what she said, which I left about Muhammad, and that they didn't accept him as the prophet. So what you say, what was her word? If you have remembered it, say in your own word. Otherwise, there's no need that it has to be exactly the same word. But what was her complaint?
Her complaint was the Jews, they rejected Muhammad as the prophet because Muhammad was an Arab.
Now this is all ignorance. Jews were actually, the thing is that all the Abrahamic religion is coming from Jews, and almost according to those who are very lenient about it, even according to them, 60% of the Quran is just copy-paste thing. It is all coming from Jewish sources. But the reality is, all the good things which you see in Quran, they are all coming from Jewish sources. So there is nothing new in it. And when Muhammad was living in Makkah also, not Makkah, Medina, they had not accepted him. He was trying his very best, very hard to win people and convert them to Islam. But no one was ready to accept him as the prophet. Even his own uncle, his own mother. His mother died earlier, so his uncle, he never converted. He was taking care of Muhammad, but he never converted. And he was able to convert only about 80-100 people. And most of these people were slaves or his relatives. So he was complete failure there. Because there he was not using sword. And he had no acceptance of other people. He was very stubborn about it, that they should just accept him without any question. Later on, he has to leave Medina because they became very inimical to him. He was trying to humiliate their gods. So he had to leave to save his life. Then when he reached to Makkah, there also he resorted to all kind of treacherous ways to defeat Jews and other tribes. He was not following any dharma, any right ways. He was just following law of deception. He will promise something else, he will come to some agreement and then he will break it. He will come to some contract, and when they became like they can relax, they may be sleeping in the night, then he will attack. And he was a plunderer, he was a looter. So, and these are written in their own hadith. It's not that others are saying it. In their own hadiths, it's written that once when he captured Jewish people, he killed all the male who had pubic hair. Even like someone is 13, 14, if he has pubic hair, then they were killed. And all the male were killed. And the women were captured. Small children were captured and they will be sold or they will be reduced to slavery. And this was his way. How anyone can accept this kind of man as a prophet? What is so prophetic about it? So what she is saying is just full of ignorance when it is matter of your own prophet. Then we are totally blind. He was prophet. He was all the time just seeking profit in this world. They were all the time looting other tribes. And Muhammad had a big share in that. Muhammad's share was called Allah's share also, I think. So, what is spiritual in this? And anything which they plundered and looted, they call it Male Ganimat. That was a kind of blessing or prize from God, from Allah. And these people living in Makkah, they had around 360 god statues of those gods. So he destroyed all those. First he left 3, then later on just only Allah remained. So how you imagine that they will accept him as the prophet when all he was doing was murdering, butchering, raping? When he had a war with a tribe, and he was able to, when they defeated that tribe, and all the women were shared among each other. I'm not telling it in detail. The most beautiful woman, Sophia, who was the daughter of head of that tribe, they had killed on that day her father, her brother, then Muhammad forced her to have, you can call it marriage or whatever, but he had sex with her on that very night. So it is a rape when no woman will be willing, when her father and brother have died on the same day, to have sex with the person who has killed her father and brother on the same night, to have sex with the person. What is spiritual in it? Where is dharma in it? So what your friend is saying, they never accepted him as the prophet. If someone is not accepting me as the prophet, I have right to kill that person. What kind of spirituality is that? Why I am so dying to be accepted as a prophet? It's just a power game. And the whole Islam, whatever they have done in the whole history, is just capturing more and more territory, looting money, plundering, butchering, raping women. What is spiritual in this? Many of the Muslims will compare Gita with Quran, that it is similar to them, because there also war happened. This is how we deceive. First of all, the war of Mahabharata didn't happen between two religions. Both of the parties, they were following the same religion, and it has nothing to do with religion. It was not fought for religion. It was fought for, because on the one side they were totally evil people. They were followers of Adharma. They were doing everything which was unjust. They were doing everything which was wrong. They were tyrants. And Krishna did his very best to settle things. But when they didn't agree, then there was no option left. Because the people wanted Pandavas to be their king. And if you see, when first Krishna, when the Arjun became, he was in a state of delusion. He was in a confused state. First Krishna removed that confusion. He made the mirror of Arjuna's consciousness totally clean. What he taught him? On the battlefield, he taught him how to be sthit-praj, how to be totally still, how to be not at all infatuated to anything, how to be free from violence, how to be totally alert and aware and then fight. It has nothing, this war was, it cannot be compared at all with what Muhammad and his followers do everywhere. What they are doing is absolute brutality. What they are doing is savagery. What they are doing is predatory. No sane person can support what they go on doing. But if you are not using your own brain, if you are totally brainwashed, if you are conditioned so heavily, if you are hypnotized, or if a narrative is invented and it is told every day, then you get influenced. That's why one needs to be meditative. Only then you can see. In this life there is no black and white, there is only grey. You have to find which party, which side is less evil, which is more nearer to which party is nearer to truth. Because this is a relative world. When you act, the moment you start acting, you are in the world of it is a practical world, but there will be some ignorance involved in that. There will be some harm happening out of it. But the party which is more careful, which is not doing too much violence, which is doing only that much violence which is needed, is the right side. What they were doing, you don't have to read the whole history, when it started, what happened before, and what they did, how this present war began. If you are really warriors, if you are really brave people, then you should have fought with the army, not in some treacherous way, not in a cowardly way. They were celebrating their Jewish festival, and you entered there and you immediately killed more than 250 people there. You raped many women there, and then you kidnapped about 150 people. You beheaded 70 people, and among those 70 there were old women, there were women, and among those 40 were small children. You beheaded them and put their dead head on their chest, and you were putting these children in cages, and then you were selling them. You raped women, and then you were demonstrating them on the street, killing them, and then everyone, even small children, were spitting on it. Is this war? For what right you are fighting? If you had, they have captured your land and you wanted it, you should have fought in the way brave people fight. If you were fighting with their army, then no one will. Then you cannot conclude so quickly that who is right and who is wrong. And even after so many of their women have been raped, their children have been killed, these Israeli, they have not done this kind of thing. They have not raped any of their women. They have not killed their children intentionally. Their children also died. Maybe more children of them died, because that is also their cowardice, these Hamas people, because they use these women and children as their shield. They live in the same place, and then whenever there is attack, they will go inside the bunker, which is underground, and once in a while they will come up and then they will fire. So these people are cowards. So finally, because they had done so much of inhuman, barbarous things, then the Prime Minister, what option he is left with? He said, we will now destroy them, this whole Hamas. So when they started bombarding that place, reducing them to ashes, then whosoever is there will be killed. But they gave them the warning signal before: you leave it within few hours. When you are dealing with monsters, no morality works there. Otherwise, you will be, more and more of your women will be raped. More and more of people who have nothing to do with war will be killed. When you are fighting, you have to fight with the army, not with civilians. And after all these things happens, then they start crying. They start playing their victim card. This is their game all the time. First you will do all your monstrous act, and then you will say that they are killing our children, they are killing our women. But why you are hiding there? That is all their plan. In their planning, they have nothing. They have no love for even for their own people, because these people are they are like Rakshas, and one should have no sympathy for such idiots, such third-rate people. Putin is saying that it is America is responsible for all this. What do you feel about it?
I feel it's possible, just that I don't know how.
How possible?
I really don't know.
I was listening to some experts. I was listening to an intelligence officer, and he was saying that the 9/11 thing which happened, 4 of the hijackers were always in contact of the Saudi Arabia government, and maybe they were paying them. I think he said they were paying them, and they were always in their contact. And the CIA knows it now. It is no longer a intelligence secret. It's all in the book form. It is all in the public domain. So, though Osama bin Laden accepted that he is responsible, he is behind it, but America was just looking for an excuse. So they are such monsters. They can be involved in these kinds of things themselves. Then they have a plea, an excuse, and then they destroyed Afghanistan. And he was saying also about Russia also, because Russia was in Afghanistan before America went there. They created the situation for Russia to be there, and then just to harm them, just to deplete their arm and ammunition and their resources, their money and everything. Now the Americans are quite wasting their top perhaps Anthony Blinken also or other visited to POK, and they visited to Pakistan. So there is a possibility, because there are about 120,000 Talibanis in Pakistan. they can make way for them to from POK, which is Pakistan occupied Kashmir, they can enter into Kashmir, and America has left very big amount of arms and ammunition in Taliban. So because America wants only if you are not their puppet, then they can do anything to create disturbance or do the regime change in any country. For those things, they have no values or principles. So it can be very big terrorist attacks on India also. And America also want to use India to contain China, to disturb China, which India is no longer listening to anyone. They want to take their own decisions. So that is what is hurting them. And even this Hamas group, Israel themselves met them, created them in a way, because it was difficult for them to deal with Yasser Arafat. He was more problematic. So they thought the leader of Hamas, who was wheelchair bound, they thought that he will be a better option. But now they are Frankenstein monster. And it can be, the all possibility and potential is there that it can become they call it class of civilization, but there is no civilization and among these Abrahamic religion, but it can be a clash between Christians and Muslims. These terrorists are definitely responsible, but America can play its own game, because now its game is going down. So just to keep itself as a big boss, they are trying their very best to rule the whole world. So but those who have done it, it's not, even if America is responsible as Putin is saying, but that responsibility America has been doing for many years. But if you are part of their evil design, then you are also responsible. All of them are of the same kind of mind. They are greedy for power, they are greedy for money. That is how this intelligence expert was saying that these people, 120,000 Talibani people which are living in Pakistan. No, not 120,000. 1,200,000. So these 1,200,000 Talibanis, they are all starving for dollars and money. So they can be given about, if they are given $50 or $100 a day, they can create mayhem. They can kill hundreds of people. So he was saying India has about less than maybe 1,200,000 army. So, and he was saying that if you want to increase your army, or if you let your army fight with them, then that will be very costly. So India also need to create these kind of people who can fight so cheaply. Otherwise, if you involve your army in that will be very, very expensive. Otherwise, if these kind of things happens, then there will be need for something like surgical strike, or then the same thing they will also need to do what Israel is doing. I saw that it was thousands and thousands of buildings were reduced to rubble just. But if there is no point moving your head, the whole world is like that. When you have machines, powerful machines, and your consciousness is of very low level, this is what is going to happen. And we have given power to all kind of monsters. They only know dance of death.
Yes, Swami.